Lecture 13. Multilayer Editing for Complex Projects. In this lecture, we'll cover multilayer editing, a key technique for working with complex video projects. It lets you manage video clips, text, images, and audio on separate layers, giving you better control and a cleaner workflow. Objectives of the lecture. By the end of this lecture, you will be able to understand multilayer editing and its benefits. Organize and manage multiple video and audio layers in CapCut. Apply editing and blending techniques for dynamic compositions. Practically work with layer tracks in a project. What is multilayer editing? Multilayer editing means stacking video, image, and audio elements on separate tracks. Each layer can be adjusted independently, giving you control over visuals and sound. For example, the main video sits on one layer. For example, you have video in here, so drag that on timeline in here. And you have a voiceover in here, so drag that on the second track in here as audio track. You can have a text on another and music on separate audio track. For example, you can search for audio in here and you can add any of the music. For example, you just want to go with this one, so download that and bring it on the timeline in here as a background music. And if you want to add images, so you can go with media and search for AI media and library as well. You can search for example, it's about interview, so you can search for interview job. So here there are multiple videos and audios that you can use as a b-roll. For example, you just want to go with this one, so download that and bring it on the timeline in here. Why this matters? It ensures a flexible, organized workflow and produces polished, professional results. Organizing layers in CapCut. Video layers. Base layer holds the main footage. For example, here you can see in here, this video track is our main footage. Add secondary clips, text, graphics, or effects. For example, we have used this video as a b-roll or secondary clip. Label each layer for clarity. For example, main video and text overlay. Audio layers. Dialogue, voiceovers, or spoken audio. For example, we have used voiceover in here, so this is our voiceover track. Music. Background tracks for mood. Here you can see we have used this track for background music. You can reduce the volume in here. For that, select that clip and reduce the volume up to like this, so that the dialogue doesn't fade out. Sound effects. Separate layer for effects like footsteps or rain. For example, you can just search for audio and search for in here as, for example, typing on keyboard. For example, if you want to add sound effect in here for this graphic, so you can just download that and drag it onto the timeline as third track in here. So when you just play this video from here, like on this point, so it adds emotion to the video. Why this matters? Clear organization lets you control volume, balance, and visuals more efficiently. Editing and blending layers. Layer visibility. Control what shows on screen by adjusting transparency. For example, if you want to mute music for a specific duration, so you can zoom in for that. And for example, when this typing happens for this duration, like till this point in here, and you just don't want music at that duration, so you can just split that part by using this tool and add this point, bring it in here and split that as well. Now select this clip and reduce the volume to 0. So when this plays in here, there will be no music in this duration and there will be only dialogue and this sound effect of typing keyboard. Opacity or transparency. Lowering opacity blends overlays smoothly with the base video. For example, we just go to the b-roll that we have already applied in here. So select that one, scroll down a bit, click in here for blend, and here you can see the option opacity. When you just zoom in a little bit, for example, if you want to blend this video with that specific video, you can just click in here, add a keyframe in here, and you can just go a little further at this point and opacity will be 0. So when you just play this video from here, so here you can see it just blends with the base video. Why this matters? It keeps overlays and text integrated instead of distracting. Keyframes animate changes over time. Text. Fade in or move across the screen. For example, you zoom out and add a text layer at the beginning. For example, at this point, go to text tab. You can use the default text and you can use the text templates as well, like any of these if you want to go with. But for example, if you want to go with simple text, drag that at the timeline in here at the beginning of this video. So select that and enter text in here as job interview tips and tricks, and for example, tips and tricks. So this is basically the heading of this video. If you want to animate that, you can zoom in and click in here, scroll down a bit, and here you can see the option is opacity. For example, you just want to animate it as fade in, so you can just opacity to 0, add a keyframe in here, increase that part, for example till then. You just want it for 5 seconds, so keep it to 5 seconds in here, and select that, scroll down a bit, and opacity to 100%. So when you just play this video from beginning, here you can see it fades in a little slower, but if you want it to be a little faster, so you can just decrease this duration. For this keyframe, keep it in here as this point. After 2.5 seconds, you can say, play this video from here. So here you can see you make it a little faster as well, like for 1 second as well, like in here. If you want it to 1 second, like at this point, and keep this keyframe in here. So when you just play this video from here, it just fades in a little faster than the earlier one. Sound effects. Fade audio in or out at key moments. For example, when the person is typing, or in here, for example, select this part of the audio track, bring a music in here, for example, and this one, like you want a music in here as energetic music. You can download any of these. For example, we just want to go with this one, like this one, drop it on the timeline. For example, if you want the volume of music to be a little slower at this point when this graphic comes, so you can split this part from this one. So you can split this part from here and till that point, for example in here, split that as well. Select this clip in here, and here you can see you can add a fade in for this specific duration, or you can adjust the volume by using keyframe as well. For example, you just add keyframe in here, add a keyframe, and for example like this, and at the end of this clip it should be add another keyframe, and it should be a little faster like this. So it gradually increases as the video progresses. Why this matters? Keyframes create smooth animations and synchronize effects. Layer blending and effects. Blending modes. Adjust how two layers interact. For example, multiply for dramatic looks. Add motion blur, glitch, or light leaks for style. For example, you can go to effects in here and search for motion blur, like in here, dynamic blur, blur, or rapid blur as well. You can search for glitch effect, for example this one, and you just want to apply to this specific clip, so you can search that. For example, click in here, split that part and till that point, and for example if you want to apply glitch in here, so drag that and drop it on the timeline in here. So when you just play this video, although it doesn't suit with this theme, but I just wanted to let you know that how it works. Or you can search for light leaks, for example, light leaks, and you can apply this one as well. For example, Ctrl Z that and drag it in here onto the timeline. So when you just play this video from here, this effect has been applied. You can apply with this one as well, and you can use any of these as per your requirement. Why this matters? Blending and effects add creative depth, making your edits visually engaging.